Hey singers! This is video 2 in our 3-part series where I'm addressing common voice issues that I see in singers. These are different issues, and last week we talked about heaviness and weight in your voice. So if you'd like, I'll link that down below so you can go check that out. But today we're gonna talk a little bit more about a different issue, which is breathiness. Breathiness throughout your range, and specifically in your lower notes. If you're new here, my name is Whitney Nichole, and I'm a singer-songwriter, vocal coach, studio owner, and creator of The Singing Straw, which is a helpful tool that helps singers around the world develop healthier, stronger, and more balanced voices. And if that sounds like something you're into, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button because we put out videos every week on just that. I'll also link below for more information on The Singing Straw. So let's dive in. And when you have breathiness in your voice that's unintentional, right? Like not a stylistic choice, but rather you can't get rid of it, that means one of two things. One, you're either swollen and those vocal folds can't quite make it all the way together, or two, you don't have enough intensity to really connect the vocal folds in those lower notes. So before you jump into this next exercise, I want you to rule out number 1. The exercises today I'm gonna give you are for strengthening that connection, so the option 2, right? But you don't wanna be using these exercises if the cause of your breathiness is swelling or inflammation. So how do you know if that's the case? Well, if you're recovering from a cold or a sickness or an injury, I definitely wouldn't go with these exercises. If you just tend to not normally be breathy, but today you're noticing a little bit of airiness or breathiness throughout your voice, perhaps because of your voice use yesterday or a couple of days ago, then that's also probably inflammation. And I would suggest instead going to one of my rehabilitation workouts, which I will link over here. So if you've ruled out inflammation, then you know that breathiness is likely caused by not having enough intensity and closure. So we're gonna take some exercises that will help. So I'd like you to grab a bigger straw. I'm gonna grab my 4mm from the Pro Kit here. And if you have the original, just bump up to 2 straws. So we're gonna start here on a simple 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 2, 1 on your straw. My lower voices can drop the octave. This is gonna feel pretty low, so tenors and sopranos, if this is too low for you to start, just join me in 1 or 2 exercises. And we're not gonna go very high with this, because again, right now we're working on that lower part of your voice, which is actually that TA-driven sound we were talking about in the previous exercise. You want this to feel nice, thick, and rich. One more. Next, we're gonna alternate that straw exercise with the vowel consonant combination. So I'm gonna give you ba, but feel free to adjust if you feel like an M or an N is an easier consonant for you. Ma or na is also fine, okay? So it's gonna sound like this. Ba, 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 ba. Now, if you get there and you're still breathy, ba, 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 go ahead and drop the B altogether. Ah, 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 ah. That glottal start does help to bring those vocal folds together. Just be gentle with that because that glottal can be a little bit intense, right? But we're gonna be alternating with the straw, so you should be just fine. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. You can really hear how energized and resonant I am in those low notes. I'm not like ba, 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 ba. That would be much more CT-driven sound. Ba, 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 ba. A little bit higher, but not too high. Ba, 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 ba. You're just getting comfortable with this sensation. Ba, 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 ba. We'll turn it back around. Ba, 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 ba. 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 And for my lower voices, if you guys wanna take that a little bit higher, because that is a pretty small part of your range, feel free. Upper voices and lower voices have different range lengths, and so it's kind of hard to have a perfect exercise set and range for all voices in these videos. So trust your judgment. If you feel like you wanna take that a little bit higher and you're not straining, go for it. Now we're gonna combine that rooted, anchored, nice connected feeling with a little bit longer of a scale or an arpeggio so that we can actually also start to alternate with that stretch, right? To also kind of go TA, CT, TA, right? Handing off on those vowels. That is a little bit oversimplified, but you can use that metaphor as a way of thinking about it. So we're gonna start again low, but this will be an octave arpeggio. Okay. Again on that low, on that bigger straw, if you'd like. Now what you can do here is you can also add in your vowel consonant. So, ba 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 ba, if you like. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. And you'll start to notice, especially for my upper voices, CT muscle and that head voice might be starting to stretch and kick in. That's awesome. What I want you to think about doing is make sure that you start and end in that rooted sound that we've been building on, right? So, ba 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 ba. So come back to that feeling. What you don't want is ba 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 ba, like getting stuck on one side, okay? So keep it going. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Let's bring it back down. Ba 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 ba. 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 One more if you've got it. Ba 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 ba. Nice job, singers. So what I'd like you to do is add this little exercise set to your regular routine, right? Because we want to really be reminding your vocal folds how it feels to come all the way together. And again, the straw does help with that. So regular straw usage is gonna help, but adding these specific targeted exercises will also help to just give you more balance and connection throughout your range. Stick around because next week I've got part 3 of this series and we'll talk about instability throughout your range. So if you're enjoying this series, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. I will see you next week.